Hello, guys. Good morning. This is a very bright morning after 2 3 days of continuous rain. Uh, so while I'm waiting for some more people to join, let me play something for you guys. You guys can ask me some questions so that I can answer all of them. You can ask me any music, Pandit, regarding questions. If you have any difficulties understanding any of the lesson or something. Hello, Surinder Kumar. How are you? I'm good. How was your week been so far? Okay, so we have our first question here by Surinder Kumar. How to practice chords in the keyboard? So for you to practice chords, I had put up one YouTube video regarding how to change chords quickly. But for you to practice chords, um, are you looking how to place your hand over the chords, or how to change chords quickly, or how to understand about chords? Okay, so chain the hands. So I think you mean to say that chain the chords in your left hand quickly. That's what you mean? Or chain the hands in sense you want to play the chords in the right hand instead of left hand, or left hand instead of right hand? Left hand, right? Okay, so for you to first thing, the placement of the chords. Okay, so for you to first learn placement of the chords, one thing what you can do is as you know that C chord is C E G, so that is C chord. What you need to do is you have to practice all the chords slowly. That is C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and this one is called as B diminished. Forget about that. You just remember the position, and then you have to go to C. So I don't know whether you can see or not. Okay, put it like this. So C chord, and you have to keep this as a triad position, that is C E G, and keep on moving one step further. and then come back. Okay, so I'll switch off the auto accompaniment. I don't know whether you can hear it properly or no. See, okay, C chord, and you have to keep on moving that triad position throughout the keyboard. You have to stop till the next C, and then come back. So this you have to practice couple of times, and when you're doing that in the left hand, you can play a note in the right hand. So and then come back. So you have to practice this like every day, 15 minutes, couple of times, a little faster. So once you are very good with this, then what you can do is, like my previous video on YouTube, you can assign each note a different chord. So for C, you can play C chord. When you're playing D, you can play G chord. When you're playing E, you can play again C chord. When you're playing F, play F chord. With G, play G chord. Again, when you're playing A, play F chord. And then when you're playing B, you play G chord. And then when you're playing C, play C chord. Okay? For C, you play C, G, C, F, G, A, B, and C. Okay? With that, you have to learn how to change chords quickly. And try to make it faster. Okay, so these are two exercises which you can get the flow of your left hand and right hand. Plus, you will get good practice for you to change chords quickly as well as place the chords. So this is the first exercise. Remember, come back. In this exercise, you don't need to think a lot. You have to just move from C chord. Just keep on moving one step further and come back. Try this exercise every day. Practice that at least more than 10 minutes, couple of times, and then you can do it. Hello, Desmond. Hope you are doing well. You're welcome. Surinder, do you have any other questions? I'm doing good. Yes, guys, can you shoot in some more questions so that I can answer it? Could you please play a beautiful classic number of your choice? Yeah, I would love to play. Um, I like this Pehla Nasha a lot. But let me tackle some questions and then I'll play some songs for you. Okay? Because this is not a song session, it's more about learning. I like this song a lot. Yes, guys, come on. Hello, Carol. Good morning. Okay, I can see very less people online. So when you guys are online, I think you can just press the like button there because I'm just seeing some people online and there are zero likes. Okay, so when you guys are online, let me tell you something about a little more about dynamics. I've seen a lot of students when they are playing, especially piano style or any classical piece or something like that, their left hand is louder than the right hand. So what you have to do is you have to see that whichever hand is giving that accompaniment. Like if this is the song, so the main melody is in the right hand. So this is the main melody. So this has to be louder and your left hand has to be softer. What happens is when you guys are just starting to learn and when you guys know a little bit of arpeggios here and there, your left hand tends to be very loud. It goes very loud because you won't get that kind of control at the beginning stage. So when you guys play, it might sound like this. So a lot of sticky notes and a lot of your left hand is louder. So try to make your left hand softer so that your melodies will sound better. So try to make your left hand softer and your right hand louder so that you have a better feel when you're playing. Always use it in all the songs, whichever you're playing. Try to make your right hand louder and your left hand very soft. So I have another question by Surinder Kumar. How to practice the chord in each key, like key of C, G, D, A? Yeah, so you can. So as I showed you in C major scale, you can do all those kind of things. But if you're practicing D, you can do the same thing. So you have to follow the scale pattern and move the chord. Now I don't know whether you can see it properly. Okay, so for D scale, you can do that. D. So you can go D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor. Then you have C sharp minor, then back to D. Okay, so D is a little tough. So I'll just, if you have a pen and paper with you, you can just write down. If you're practicing in key of D, what you can do is you can practice D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, C sharp minor, and back to D. Okay. So when you're playing that, you can play a note in the right hand so that even your right hand gets that practice. So because when you're practicing chords, most of the students, what they do, they only practice the left hand. But don't keep on practicing left hand. You have to practice even right hand when you're practicing left hand. Otherwise, what happens is you will practice left hand. Your left hand will be very strong. But when you're trying to play a melody, then your left hand will suffer again. So when you're practicing your left hand, try to give some kind of exercise for your right hand so it is more smoother. So when you're playing D, play a D note in the right hand. So when you're playing E minor chord, play E note in the right hand. And when you're playing F sharp, play F sharp minor chord. Then when you're playing G, play G chord. When you're playing A, play A chord. When you're playing B, play B minor chord. When you're playing C sharp, play C sharp minor chord. And when you're playing D, play D chord. So that will be the chord pattern for D scale. So I'll repeat it again. When you're playing D note, D chord. For E minor, so for E, you play E minor. For F sharp, play F sharp minor. For G, play G chord. For A note, play A chord. For B, play B minor chord. For C sharp, play C sharp minor chord and D. So if I'm playing faster, it will sound like this. Okay, you can try to do that and try to be faster every day. What you have to do is keep one scale for one day. Don't practice all the scales every day. Okay, once you're very confident, then you practice. But as a beginner, try to keep one scale and keep on practicing that. Next day, go to another scale. Okay, so if it is a G scale, as you have seen, as you have written G, so key of G, then you can for G play G chord. For the next note of the scale, that is A, play A minor. For B, play B minor. For C, play C chord. For D, play D chord. For E, play E minor. For F sharp, you can either play D chord or you can play even F sharp minor, but play D chord or B minor. And for G, play G chord. So for G, play G chord. For A, play A minor chord. For B, play B minor chord. C, C chord. D, D chord. Then E minor. For E, play E minor. For F sharp, you can play D chord. And for G, play G chord. And try to make it faster. So like that, keep on translating these chords to different scales, and you guys can practice like that. But try to improve your speed every day when you practice. So today, if you're practicing at 60 BPM, um, try next day 70, 80, 100, and keep on going. Don't stop. Okay, you have to play the chords at more than 150 or 160 BPM, so that when you're playing a song, when you're playing a difficult song, it will be easier for you to switch between chords. Okay, because at the beginning stage you will have very few chords to change. If it is C, then it is like just C, F, and G. But later, when you're going for the keyboard level 2 or piano level 2, you have to change like a lot of chords and like really quick, and then you will have problems. So try to shift chords faster with different tempos and practice that every day. Another thing to remember is that when you're practicing your left hand, that is chords or arpeggio or anything, don't forget your right hand. Give some kind of exercise even for your right hand. Like just play a single note. It doesn't matter, but your body should get that balance. You should get that control. Once you have that control, and then you're good to go. I hope I answered that question. Another thing, Surinder, what you can do is you can use even inversions. So it makes your chord playing faster. So instead of jumping here and there, you can just play chords at one place. So for you to learn inversions, you can go to my Music Pandit. So I've explained about inversions in level 1 as well as in level 2, keyboard as well as piano. You can use that, and then I think it will be easier for you to change chords. Okay, yeah. Okay. Hi, Arshbat. How are you? You're welcome, Surinder. Okay, so here we have an interesting question. So, what is suspended and diminished chords? Um, I think this is a little complicated question because as chord wise, the suspended has a different character. It has a different character, and diminished has a different kind of character. Now, if you're playing just C, F, G. Again. Okay. So what you can do with suspended chord is you can give a character to that song, or you can make it like a nice ending chord like this. Now I'm just going to play C, F, and G. Second time I'm going to add G suspended. Okay, see the feel. Okay, normal chord. Now I'll change. You heard that difference? So it kind of gives you that kind of a proper ending feel for that song. So you can use suspended chords there so that it gives you a different feel instead of normal chords. Instead of C, F, G, what you can do is ending chord. If it is G, you can make it like G suspended G. So it kind of gives you a nice ending to your song. Um, Now, how to play suspended chord? That is very easy. If take for example, if you want to make C chord as C suspended, what you need to do is you need to just take the middle note of the chord. So in this case, it is E note, that is C E G, right? So remove that middle note of the chord and add the next note, that will be F. Okay, so C, C suspended. Now, in case if you're searching suspended chord for D chord, if you want to make D chord as a suspended chord, play D chord and middle note of that chord, that is F sharp. You have to take one step ahead or half step ahead. Basically, the next note of the scale. So, what is the next note of F sharp? That is G, right? So, that will be D suspended. Similar way, you can do it for E. So, this is E. The middle note is G sharp. Just the next note of it, that is A. So like that, you can keep on going. That is for suspended chords. Suspended chords gives you a different character and you can use it for a very nice ending to your composition. Now, taking for diminished chords, it kind of gives you like as if you're thinking something. Most of the cinematic. If you want that kind of cinematic effect, people use diminished chords. And if you're listening to, and diminished can be even used as an alternative chord. Now, take for example, if I'm playing this kind of chord progression, now diminished. Okay, so instead of normal chords, you can put diminished chord if you want that kind of feel. Like diminished chord has got a different kind of feel, as if it is some kind of suspense, as if it is. You might have seen most of the movies. If there is a robbery scene or if there is something is going to happen, they kind of give you this kind of feel. James Bond movies and all those kind of things, actually they're playing the diminished chord, so that kind of gives you kind of as if something suspense is going on or something like that. But diminished chord, if you're using it in the normal song, you have to be very wise about it. You just can't put a diminished chord there, but you can use diminished chord as an alternative for a finishing chord, like how you're giving how you're using suspended chord. You can do the same thing for diminished as well. For example, if the chord pattern is E minor, A minor, and B, okay? E minor, A minor, B. So instead of B, you can use a diminished chord there. So that is, so you can do all those kind of things, but you should know where to use it, and you have to see whether really that chord is required there. Okay, but application of diminished chord, there is theory for it. So which I'll be explaining in level 3 or in my any of my YouTube videos. So keep tuned. I hope I answered that question for you. Welcome, Harsh. Okay, guys, you guys can ask me more questions. Bohemian Rhapsody. See, I've never learned that piece. Okay, so if at all I learn that, then of course I'll play that for you. Okay, right now I'm never learned that thing, that song. Okay, so whenever I'm covering it, whenever I think of covering that song, I'll play there as well as I'll play it for you. Okay, don't worry about it. Another thing, guys, I won't be taking any song requests here. I'll be playing some songs just to what do you call, just to keep the mood and just to explain some kind of a theory or something. I might be playing a small part of a song. Yeah, but don't worry, Arsh. I'll play that for you. Okay, sometime soon. Anything else, guys? Another thing, you guys are not liking the video, so make sure you press that like button. Okay, I should get some motivation even to talk, right? Okay, so Harsh, you are asking, well, I don't know whether others will understand this or no. Okay, so what are modes and where it is used? So modes, uh, there is two ways of using it. One thing, you can use it for improvisation. Okay, another thing, you can use it for your composition. If you want a different kind of style, if you want to implement a different flavor for your composition, you can use modes. Now, modes, like I said, for those chords that is suspended and diminished, even modes have a different feel. Now, take for example this C scale. So this has a feel to it, right? Correct. Now, if I play the easiest mode, that is Dorian mode. So Dorian mode sounds like this. Okay. Now, if I go to Phrygian, Phrygian will sound like this. So, and the Lydian will sound like this. It depends on the mood what you want. Like if your composition, you started a composition in C scale, so you are just playing like this. Okay. And in between, if you want that kind of Middle East kind of feel, like Arabic feel or something, you can use Phrygian there. So it becomes like this. So I'll play the normal and then I'll go to Phrygian. Now I'll change. Because when you're going to a Phrygian, what happens is you get that. So I was shifting between Phrygian and normal scale, Phrygian and normal scale. You can do the same thing if you're shifting between Dorian and normal scale. So now I'll shift the normal scale, second I'll go for Dorian, and then I'll come back. See, Dorian, normal scale, Dorian. Okay, you can understand the feel between them, right? So you can use Phrygian whenever you want that kind of Arabic kind of feel, and you can use your Dorian if you want to make your normal composition a little bit of jazzy. You can just put Dorian mode there, and you can use if you want to make it more easy, then you can use pentatonic, minor, major, and you can use even scales for that matter. Harmonic minor, you can use it if you want to make it sound like more Indian. And if your composition has a very mixed feeling, like not happy, not sad, mixed kind of feeling, then you can go for melodic minor. Okay, so very happy, major scale, a little sad, minor scale, very sad, harmonic minor, mixed feeling, melodic minor. If you want to give some Middle East or Arabic kind of feel, Phrygian mode. If you want to give some Indian mode, then harmonic minor. So it depends on the moods. So as the name suggests, modes. So it's all on mood. Okay. So use the scale wisely. All these scales are related to the major scale. You can't completely use these modes or make a composition completely on these modes. You have to play a normal scale and connect these scales somewhere in between. Okay? I hope I answered that question. Okay, so for you to practice Dorian mode, there is one exercise which is very nice. You can do this. So you might have heard that in most of the movie scenes or something like that, especially Indian movies, whenever they say um, this is a sunrise, um, what do you call it's the situation is early morning and there is sunrise, and that time you can listen to the background which goes like this. So this is nothing but Dorian mode. So they are just playing that mode there. Okay. So for you to practice that, so I'll be giving away this exercise either in one of my YouTube video or it will come in my level 3. So keep tuned. Okay. Yes. You guys have any other questions? You guys can ask me. So, Harsh, how are your lessons going on? If you guys have any feedback on Music Pandit lessons, or if you have, like, if you want us to improve on in some way, you guys think you guys can suggest me or you can ask me. I think I will be very happy to guide you. Or there's another question: how to connect keyboard and PC? It's very easy. Just get a USB cable, connect it, done. But your computer needs to have the software which has come with the keyboard. Either you can download it online. Most of the Yamaha keyboards, you don't need a software. It's just plug and play. But if it is a advanced keyboard, then you need to install a software. If it is a Windows, if it is Mac, you don't need anything. You just plug in and you can start playing. But you need to have that cable. It is even called printer cable in normal way. But if you're going for a shop, the one side will be USB 1.0 and the another side will be 2.0. You need to get that cable and you'll be good to go. Okay, so I can't see any questions anymore. So if you have any questions, you guys can ask, or I will be leaving this session. Okay, I have 4 people and I got only 2 likes. I think you guys don't like me or don't like Music Pandit. Okay, so I have another question. Will you include some advanced chords in third level? Of course, yeah. So in third level, I will be explaining about diminished chords, diminished chords, augmented chords, flat five, flat seven, flat five seven, and a lot of chords. But asked, I have taught you most of the chords in level two itself. Have you gone through my keyboard level two syllabus? I have introduced there how to use the chords and all those things. And there is one song which you will find in my Hindi course where I played a song using all those advanced chords. Okay, it is Ambar Zaria, which is very famous song. So I think you can go through that. Level 3 will be less songs, but more about technicality, chords, and a lot more exercises, and this Dorian mode and what all things I told, and how to use modes for your improvisation. I'll be teaching you some licks, very nice licks where you can use it for your improvisation. As soon as you put those notes, you'll sound great. Okay, so um, it's on process because it takes a lot of time to make a course. A lot of months, many months. We have to sit and do a lot of work. So yeah, have patience. Just wait for some time, and yeah. So what are the licks? Licks are a phrase. Okay, a small phrase where you can use it. Now, take for example, if you're improvising in jazz, and so this is a lick. So that run what I played, I'll be explaining the notes. I'll give you the notes for that, so that as soon as you put that, you will sound like a professional. Okay, yeah. So all those kind of things. And in middle, when you asked me about what do you call modes, that is Phrygian and all those things, I went to that kind of feel. So all these are phrases. These are patterns. They are even called as licks. So I'll be giving you some kind of patterns where you can uh, put those licks to those chords or phrases to those chords, and you can sound like a pro. Yes, guys. Any more questions? And thank you, Harsh, for liking the video. Okay, so another question: how I will know that I am on which level to start learning? Okay, so one thing what you can do is once you subscribe to Music Pandit, if you open my Music Pandit lessons, you can see everything whatever is there in that syllabus. So level one includes scales, now your basic scales, basic chords, basic rhythm patterns, and basic notation reading, and a lot of finger exercises and all those things. But if you are good with the scales, if you are good with chords, and if you are good with basic things, whatever is there in that syllabus, that means you know level one. If you know all those topics, then you can go to level two. And if you open level two and you read all the topics, whichever are there in that syllabus, and if you think that you know all those topics, that means you know even level 2. But I feel that if you're planning to do Music Pandit course, start from level 1. See, because there are some points which you guys might be missing out somewhere. So I feel that you need to start from level 1. If you know that topic, it's well and good. You can just skip and go to the next one. Okay, but there will be something which might be missing uh, wherever you might have learned previously. It might be a good place or something, but you might miss something. So go through all the levels and see the content, what all things are there, and you can start from there. Okay, that's how you can figure out which level you are in. So, any more questions? I hope I answered that question, Surinder. Okay, thanks. So, Surinder, you are an. Have you learned keyboard before, or this is the first time you're trying out? Okay, so I have another question. What is the limit of learning music? Means how much extent the great composers learn music? See, music learning is endless, limitless. Even if you ask a question, even if you ask this question to the great composer Hans Zimmer or the great Indian composer that is A.R. Rahman, so even he is learning daily. So I don't think there is any limit for music learning. The more you learn, there will be something else where you have to learn. Like there is always more things to learn in music. There is nothing called as okay, I finished everything. No, it is like music and medical is same. The even in medical science or pharmaceutical or anyway, they keep on inventing new things, new diseases will come, and then they have to treat that similar way. In music, when you think that okay, I learned this, okay, I am the master of this, then there will be something else which will come, and then you have to learn that thing as well. So it's endless. There is nothing called as limit, or there is no boundary for music learning. Yeah. I've learned harmonium. Okay, so yeah, even I started my music career as a tabla player. Yeah. So 10 to 15 years ago, I'm interested in both hands piano and practicing since 6 to 7 months. Oh, cool. Yeah. So if you're planning to go from harmonium to keyboard, that means your right hand will be really good because in harmonium, you already have that practice of playing right hand. Now, what you have to really work on is the chords, left hand. But if piano is your main concern, what you can do is you can practice your arpeggios in the left hand. So if you can play arpeggios better, you can play even chords better. If you can play chords better, you can play arpeggios better. It goes hand in hand. So try to practice that. But I think if you are good with harmonium, then your right hand is sorted. What you have to work on is the coordination. So um, I have done a couple of videos, YouTube videos on hand coordination, where I have some exercises. So after this session, I think you guys can check out that. Okay. So I think there are no more questions. So I'm planning to wind this session. You're welcome, Surinder. Okay, guys. So see you next time. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Harsh.